Happy Blue Thursday. It's 10 o'clock. We're live with Real Estate Now. And my name is Keith Pitch. I'm with my co-host, Stacy Chevalier. Stacy, how are you today?
I'm good. I have a PSA this morning for anyone out there. We've been doing live for a long time, but this is our first, I think, live on LinkedIn. I think we're there. I'm not sure. I can't check. But so for all our friends out there that have been following us, if you want to know what you're going to look like if you work 18 or 20 hours a day nonstop, this is what you get. Right. So one of these days, Keith and I are going to talk about what the 2020 COVID market did to the financial market and what it did to our daily lives and our team. So that's coming up in a show I'm excited about.
Yeah, that will be. This is just a quick sneak peek. Mortgage lending volume in 2020 likely to break records. It already is breaking records. So yeah, it happens, man. We work really hard and really long hours to help make sure that you guys get those rates while they're low and buy those houses with really cheap money. So
I think people watch The Big Short and they think that's what we do. And it's like, that's not what we do. It's not. We are working so hard for everybody. And I just want people to know that. And if you have a friend in the industry, maybe check in on them, see if they're okay.
Check in on them. Please call your mortgage and real estate professionals and make sure they're still sane.
Yes. Yeah. So where are we at?
Speaking of the insanity, I love this headline. So again, we're checking in with mortgage rates before we jump into today's show, which we're going to talk about the most recent COVID mandates set out by our governor, Jay Inslee. But Freddie Mac does their weekly survey, and look at this headline. It says mortgage rates drop, hitting a record low for the 13th time this year. So if you had any sort of, what's the word? I totally
hesitation.
No, 13 is a lucky number for some people. Superstitious. That's what I was looking for. 13 is a superstitious number for me. It's a good luck charm for me. So 13 is awesome. Some people don't like it. I love it. 13 is the magic number. We've hit a barrier and dropped down 13 times. That is crazy. So
that is crazy.
It's still a great time. Look. I said we were going to be back over 3% by the end of the year, and you said 2.5%, Stacy. I think you're definitely trending in a better way than I am.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, so this will be what I won't say this next show because next Thursday is Thanksgiving. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yes.
I think I'm right.
Yep, we'll just jump on and say Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. But we'll jump into what the mortgage industry has done this year, into a little deeper detail, and go from there on our follow-up shows. But changing topics here today, here we are again. What is new is old, what is old is new, and we are back in a new round of stay-at-home mandates. And it kind of changed the real estate picture here going into the final 2 months or month and a half of the year. So we wanted to bring in one of our trusted real estate professionals, and we called our good friend Sean Morris with Morris Better Real Estate out of Keller Williams Bellevue. So without further ado, let's bring Sean on in and say, good morning, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Keith and Stacy?
Good.
We're doing good. Thanks for being here, Sean.
Thanks for having me.
So if there's anything we've gotten really good, Sean, this year about doing is adapting to change.
Yes.
So we've changed a little bit again. So tell us what is impacting in real estate with this most recent mandate that I think went into effect at the beginning of this week.
Absolutely. Yeah. As of November 15th, we have seen a number of changes that really are just similar to where we were at kind of at the beginning of the shutdown. So as of the 15th, open houses are no longer permitted. So if you are out and about and see an open house with signs, just know that that is an illegal open house. Do not go in. It could be a trap. Brokers must work from home whenever possible. Real estate offices are closed to the general public and have to be at 25% or less capacity. So for a lot of offices, that means that you can still meet with your clients in the office. However, you have to do it by appointment, and you can't just randomly bring your friend in and show them where you work. These restrictions are in effect until at least December 14th. And then brokers have to continue to follow the established protocols from kind of the whole COVID thing, which is in-person activities are by appointment only. Face coverings are to be worn at all times, even with clients. No more than 5 people in addition to the broker may be on a property at any one time. And everyone who's there must strictly follow the COVID guidelines. So yeah, go ahead.
This doesn't mean people look at real estate. It just means that the open houses are closed again.
Correct.
Right. So we started with no open houses, then we went to open houses were okay, and now we're back to no open houses. But for those that are going out to list, or those that are going out to still buy houses right now, they can still, with your help, with an agent's help, get into that house and walk through it, correct?
Absolutely, and it's still a fantastic time to be either a buyer or seller, as you just were talking about rates. This is as close as we get to free money. So you can still go out and look at properties with your broker. This is definitely not the time to bring everyone that you've ever met to look at the house with you. And then as far as listing your home, if you are wanting to avoid a ton of people through your house, this is a very good time to be listing, because everything is by appointment only. A lot of agents aren't taking people out unless they have been COVID screened. So we are following our restrictions.
Is that your guys' team protocol to COVID screen, or how widely spread is that practice?
I'd say it's probably about 50-50 from what I'm hearing from other agents. We do a general, how are you feeling? Have you been sick? Do you have any symptoms? I do know some agents, right? I do know some agents who have insisted on their clients being rapid tested before they'll go out. Our team, at least, we're not putting buyers in our cars at this point. We are driving separately. We wear masks the whole time. In addition to always carrying toilet paper, and now always carrying hand sanitizer. So we're prepared anywhere we go.
Can you explain how this is different than before the 15th?
Yeah, so a lot of it's very similar. The big things that have changed are the no open houses. Brokers are supposed to work from home whenever possible. So rather than sitting at a Starbucks and writing an offer, they're supposed to sit at home and write an offer. Rather than meeting their clients at the office if they don't need to, doing a Zoom call with them instead. And then probably the other biggest one is the offices for various real estate firms are closed to the general public and at 55% capacity. Now, for a lot of offices, that is a big deal. They've been at roughly 25% capacity for a while. Some offices have just been closed since this all began.
Yeah, we're one of those offices. Yeah.
Yeah, we close tight. The open house, it's a big advantage for a buyer because they can at their leisure walk in and out of houses. It's a big marketing piece for a listing. So I know you have listings coming on. How are your listing clients? What questions are they coming up with, and what concerns are you trying to address right now in this change?
Absolutely. Yeah, the open house has always been kind of one that a seller is somewhat convinced that they must have in order to effectively market their house. Really, an open house is more of a tool for buyers to come through and conveniently look at the listing. As far as meeting with our sellers and preparing them what to expect as we get their house listed, we're just doubling down on our marketing aspect. So we've always done photography. Every listing now has a floor plan, virtual tour, and honestly, these days people are looking at a house kind of deciding whether or not to even go look at it from the comfort of their living room. And so if the house isn't marketed to its best potential to start with, it kind of doesn't make the cut. Several of the listings that we've had this year have been sold to out-of-state buyers who put in an offer sight unseen just based on the photography and virtual tours.
Wow.
As far as buyers go, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. As far as buyers go, it is a little bit more difficult because the buyers kind of lost that freedom and independence to go wander through an open house. So we aren't seeing the looky-loos quite the same, which again is not necessarily a bad thing as far as a seller is concerned. However, open houses have long been kind of a test the waters type thing for buyers. So, hey, we're not really ready. Let's go to an open house. Let's take a look. Let's see. So now you definitely have to be prepared and have your ducks in a row. You have to have your pre-approval and have met with an agent in order to get into a house. Again, that being said, with all of the restrictions in place, we are seeing more and more listings that are marketed online, and so you can still look at them from the comfort of your home without having to go out and kind of put yourself at risk.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. That first-time home buyer, they want to walk through the difference between a condo and a townhouse and a single-family residence and see what feels good on them, and they just don't have that opportunity. Yep. I mean, is there a way that they?
Well, it sounds like they can with the appointment, right? They can still.
Yes. Yeah. So I would say we're still able to go out and kind of get a feel for it. However, they do have to show that they are serious. A lot of agents won't take buyers out who aren't pre-approved. I don't take buyers out who aren't pre-approved just from a safety standpoint. I want to make sure that they are serious enough to have gone through the pre-approval process. And then we can go out and look at, hey, this is a condo. Here's what a townhouse is going to feel like. So we're able to do a little bit of the looky-loo stuff. We just have to have a set appointment. So sometimes it's taking a little bit longer working together just because we don't have that kind of preliminary process that they would have done at an open house. However, that's kind of a good thing as far as I'm concerned, because it helps me get to know what my clients are looking for even quicker.
Yeah, and there's some things that the looky-loos can still do, like drive neighborhoods and figure out commutes and what's around the neighborhood, schools, grocery store, all that good stuff.
I mean, if days on market are averaging under 2 weeks, there's not much time to really look anyways. Like you kind of gotta just look online and put an offer in.
Yeah, what we're advising our clients to do is kind of figure out the general area you want to be in. Don't necessarily start with houses. If you're thinking West Seattle, go drive that commute and see what it's like without the bridge. If you're thinking Bellevue, if you're thinking, Shoreline, go explore those areas and see if that is still on your list. Do you like the infrastructure there? Do you like the proximity, lack thereof, to parks, shopping, whatever it may be, so that by the time you are kind of set on, yes, we definitely want to be in Wallingford, now we can go in and actually look at houses and see what's currently on there.
Yeah, and I want to circle back to one thing. I don't want, you said we don't show people houses unless they're pre-approved, and I want to kind of separate a little bit forest from the trees here. This just isn't a COVID thing, right? This is the market.
Yeah. This is a market thing, a team thing. So this has always been our policy. We don't take anyone out who isn't pre-approved just because we want to make sure that everyone is serious. We're going to spend time with you. We're putting you once upon a time in our car and taking you out and about and showing you around. We want to make sure you're just as serious as we are. As far as the market goes right now, honestly, you're kind of dead in the water if you're not pre-approved to start with. Once upon a time, we would go look at a house, identify a house, write an offer, get it under contract, and then we would go get a pre-approval. These days, if you don't have that pre-approval when you walk through the door with your offer the first time around, most sellers and listing agents are going to say, well, not serious. So we're going to go with another offer.
And it
Right.
seems like in our market, people are still wanting pretty quick purchase closes. It's like they don't care that we're in a $3.9 trillion market at all. Like, that's why I was saying, are there like some education so people know what is actually happening? Because it's really difficult to get things we used to do in 7 days. It's just not possible.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still seeing a kind of a maximum of 30 days of a close is kind of what most sellers are willing to look at. Anything less than that is definitely more appealing.
Yeah, there was one thing that you said in there as far as the pre-approved buyer. We help people get pre-approved all the time. And the really key thing about that pre-approval, to Sean's point, is it allows you to walk into that place. And what real estate agents are going through right now, they've got 3 or 4 people that are pre-approved, and they have to be making these offers super quick. Because I have one right now. This is the strangest one I've seen. It came on yesterday at noon, and the offer review date is Saturday at noon. I've never seen something like, hey, here it is. Make your offer. So real estate agents are out there getting as many people in by appointment only, because there's no, mass gathering, so to speak, in an open house. So that's a lot of time and effort you guys are putting in out there.
Yeah, it is. I'd say a lot of places will have an offer review date, typically somewhere 3 to 5 days after their list date. However, it really just kind of depends on the traffic they have. We had clients the other day who wanted to go see a place the day it was listed, made an appointment, and about half an hour later got notified by the listing agent that they had accepted an offer.
Wow.
What about staging? I know when we were like having these conversations in May, maybe June, a lot of agents had gotten really creative and found great ways to virtually stage homes. So do you think is that just still happening, or is it going to come back?
We're definitely seeing more virtual staging than we were before all of this. Personally, I generally, it kind of depends on the price point of the listing, whether I'm doing virtually staged or physically staged. I'm lucky enough, I went to school for interior design and I have my staging accreditation and my own inventory. We can still stage our own listings because we have the product. For a while there, staging companies were not deemed essential. They are again, however, a lot of them are so backed up. That's definitely not a let's get this on the market within the next 3 days type thing, because you need several weeks to schedule things out. And I'd say most staging companies won't stage anything that is owner occupied.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's sent some interesting ripples throughout the whole industry. So
Yes, it has.
Looking forward, here we are closing down the latter part of November. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Maybe the cycle of real estate will do what it usually does and kind of slow down between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't see that to be the case.
No.
But what are you looking forward to?
We're going to start to see contracts, Kate, that are like, we need to be closed and moved in time to put that Christmas tree up and have Christmas in the new house. That's what we're going to start seeing.
Just gave me a shiver. Let's not do that. So what are you looking forward towards 2021, Sean?
2020 being over.
Fair enough.
At this point, like you said, historically, we have seen kind of things calm down around the holiday season, Thanksgiving through the end of the year. This year, I really wouldn't be surprised by anything at this point. I do think that it will probably continue to be very busy. Interest rates seem like they're going to stay low. We still don't have much inventory. So I think we'll see a very similar market going into the new year. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't say for certain. We do know what the market is right now, and it's crazy hot. So I project that we'll continue to see that.
I just saw NAR's number, National Association of Realtors number, for month end October. And I'm trying to find it. I saved it somewhere on my computer. It's in the ether of my computer somewhere. But I was stunned. So their projection, NAR's projection going into October was that we were going to cool down and only have year-over-year growth of 0.7. It was year-over-year growth 4.4% in existing home sales in the month of October, with a year-to-date increase of 22.8%.
Wow.
22.8% increase in existing homes year-over-year. So there's a perception out there, people are like, oh, people just aren't selling because there's no inventory on the market. No, it's selling and it's going really, really fast.
Really fast. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It will be really interesting in 2021 on how far we continue to go down this path. So what can people do right now? I want to talk about one stigma in closing, because we only have a few minutes left here in our half an hour session. There's a stigma that we wind down in November, December, and then all of a sudden, no one wants to list until the spring market. Can we talk about the spring market really quick?
Yeah.
Before we adjourn today, and that maybe wrong idea, possibly wrong. What's your thoughts on the spring market?
Historically, we have kind of seen this upward trajectory from the springtime, getting hotter and hotter until right around the 4th of July weekend. And then summer has typically gotten rather quiet because it's nice outside and people want to go be outside. The last few years, it's gotten earlier and earlier as far as when the market gets hot. And I think at this point, who knows what day, week, month it is anymore. So I think we will continue to see it be really hot and crazy just from the get-go. Spring has always kind of been the time we want to shoot for because the flowers are starting to bloom. The trees are bringing their leaves back. Yards just generally look better. I think at this point, everyone knows it rains here. So it's, your yard is going to be wet and maybe a little bit drearier in the early spring, late winter than it would be during the summer. That's not really a deterrent as far as I'm seeing anymore. People want a house. They want to take advantage of those low interest rates, and sellers want to take advantage of the lack of inventory and see multiple offers and well above this. So I think we'll continue to see it be crazy and probably madness into next year.
Yeah.
I'm curious sorry, Keith.
Oh, sorry. So it's not a necessity to wait for spring right now to
That's not what I'm advising my clients. No, we know what the market is right now. Let's take advantage of it. The farther out we push it, the less likely it could be to be like this. So let's take advantage of where it is right now.
I'm curious, since you're in Bellevue, I understand you help people all over, but are you seeing more purchase outside of the more expensive city markets or not? Because it seems like it's going fast everywhere.
Yeah, we definitely have seen, I wouldn't say a mass exodus, but definitely more and more people wanting to leave the city proper, get away from those urban areas, and go out towards really north, south, east, and west, leaving the city, looking for suburbs, more outdoor space. The amount of people this year who have said, I really don't care where we end up as long as we have an office. It's a big one. So yes, we have seen people kind of leave the city. That's not to say that urban area is dead. We are still seeing those be very hot just because Seattle and Bellevue especially do have that kind of urban charm where people can live in a condo or townhouse, walk to their favorite cafes, get takeout at this point, and still kind of have that city life. We are seeing more and more people leaving, though.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, we'll continue to bring valuable information. Sean, I appreciate all you've done here today. And
yes, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll put your contact information in the comments string here. So if anybody has any questions or wants to go look at a house, that they can definitely not get in your car, but they can follow you over.
Yes, I will drive nice and slow so that you can follow me.
Awesome. So thanks much. And if I don't talk to you before next Thursday, happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you both as well.
Yeah, we'll catch you later.
Yep, thank you.
So there you have it. Just no open houses. You got to get those appointments scheduled through your real estate agents to buy and sell that real estate now. Ever-changing market, it will continue to do so. But I'm excited that we can get some family focus. Stacey, any plans for Thanksgiving? Just family?
You know, I'm just still thinking about work. But yes, next week I will be with my family and my folks. So we're keeping it small and hopefully have a little bit of time off. So
yeah, well, we some folks call this sacrilege and some don't, but we actually are pulling out the Christmas decorations this weekend and putting it up. So we're gonna.
I have trees up already, Keith. I'm with you.
Oh, nice. Perfect. Well, we'll catch you not next Thursday, but the week after, and have a great Thanksgiving. And we'll catch you next go around on Real Estate Now.